Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Circle of Hanik with Yulala Gomez. And today we are going to have another reading, another oracle reading. Let's see what is the message for today. However, today I'm going to do a different dynamic. I'm going to read each group, two groups, but each group I'm going to use two decks, okay? So the first group is going to be this combination, an artistic tarot and a traditional rider white. This is group number one. And the second option, or the second group, will be Radiant Rider White with this artistic tarot, group number two. Okay, take a moment to connect. Group number one, group number two. Why am I going to read with two decks? Because I feel that each deck has an energy. So I want to complement each reading using two decks. This is something that I have done, I started doing recently. I dreamt about myself reading with two decks, and I have tried it, and I feel that one of the decks give a complementary information to the other deck. Okay, so it's basically something that is very personal. So that's why I want to try it with you people. So I'm going to start with group number one. Still, we don't know what the energy is like. We don't know what the message will be like. As usual, group number one opens the energy of the group. It's like the Aries group of the oracle. And usually group number two follows or completes the message of group number one. Okay. Group number one. Group number one. Okay. The Chariot. Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Torch or Eight of Wands. Group number one. The Tower and the Five of Cups. Okay, let's start with the first line of group number one. Then I will complement with the second deck. The first thing to mention is that by having the Chariot and the Tower, both are equal to 7, Chariot and Tower. And if you look at both of the cards, they imply a lot of movement, a lot of energy. There is an outburst of energy, impulse, determination. You have been waiting for a long period of time the opportunity to move forward in something that you really desired. You've been waiting to have the chance to do a move in an area of your life. Somehow I feel that you identify certain signals that told you that it was the time to move on, to do the action, to take over. But you've met, when you throw yourself into the action, what you actually met was a destruction of a structure or the disruption that happened with the movement that has created emotional chaos. However, I am feeling that this perception, the emotional chaos that you are experiencing, is more related to a perception because you are not understanding that there was something that needed to fall apart if you wanted that movement to happen, if you wanted that movement to take place. There was something that needed to fall apart that had to do with your structure. It's like part of your plan didn't come as you expected. And that created an inner chaos. But you're not seeing that in the other side of the cloud is the sun. You're focusing on the emotions. It's like you feel very emotionally disrupted. And they are telling me it was part of the plan. What happens with the universe is the universe doesn't tell us the whole story. See, the universe talks his own language and at his own speed. There is a very, very fresh energy here. Who's number one? One extra card. The reason why the movement didn't happen as you expected is because this impulse that you had was pretty much moved by emotional patterns inherit and learned and adopted since a very young age, since a very early age. So you adopted these emotional patterns as yours. As well, you could have adopted this vision of what you wanted to achieve or what you wanted to do, moved from a perception that was established in your mind from your childhood. That situation that you lived in your childhood made you believe that this thing that you wanted to move forward with so much impulse was coming from your actual desires. But in reality, it's coming from your childhood. It's coming from experiences that you lived during your childhood that created an imprint or left an imprint in you. Like you said, this is what I want to do when because I don't want to repeat this experience. It could be conscious or unconscious. It's like people that during their childhood, for example, go through a lot of difficult moments with their parents, And when they grow up, they make sure that they don't repeat those experiences by achieving something financial, emotional, whatever it is. But part of it is moved, like, for example, people that when they were young, their parents got divorced. And then in a relationship, they try super hard to maintain or to get married to somebody with a lot of structure and commitment. But the movement is apparently something that you really desire, when in reality it's coming from a response to a trauma of the childhood. And that became very clear to you. Probably you cut with this pattern, or you left it behind, or you got clarity of what it was actually moving you through all this time. When you moved forward and the structure that or the situation created the chaos in your life, internal or external. External can be that things didn't work the way you wanted, or it collapsed, or internal is that the level of satisfaction of achieving that which you thought that you wanted wasn't there. It's because it was an opportunity that life gave you, the universe gave you, to bring light to a situation of your childhood, to understand the real reason of why you were moving into that direction. It was an opportunity to have mental clarity, mental and spiritual clarity, because like that, you could do a liberation, liberating from this pattern in order for you to connect with what you really want, in order to connect with what you really desire, in order to connect with what it really fulfill you. I will give examples. Let's say that, for example, you grew up in a family that wasn't very well shaped according to standards of society. And you grew up with a judgment towards your parents for it, because they were not together, or because they weren't the best couple ever, etc. There was a judgment. These judgments, we call them arrogance in systemic. Regardless, there was a judgment, and based on that, you took decisions in your adult life. You decided that you were going to marry and have a certain lifestyle. What happens? You had it, you did it, you made it, but it didn't work. You didn't have the satisfaction that you expected, or it didn't work the way that you wanted it to work. Because all this time, the reason why it's creating sadness and it's creating chaos is because the universe wanted you to see that you were not moving from your true desire. You were moving from that wound. And because you were moving from that wound, obviously, the fulfillment of the situation couldn't be there. The situation didn't have what you needed. It couldn't satisfy you because it was not aligned with the true desires of your soul. It was not aligned with the true desires of your soul and the plan of the universe for you in your correct and new timeline. You were moving and choosing from a wound. And if you allow yourself, you're going to have clarity about it. 3 of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. The Magician. The Emperor. The Three of Cups, this Three of Cups is very interesting because the three people are picking up water that is raining from the skies, but it's only raining at the spot of the cups. The cups represent the emotions. And the Three of Cups, especially in this deck, is an indication that someone is learning here how to manage or to take advantage of the apparent failure. This work of taking advantage of the apparent failure this could be the advice that you're receiving, actually. They are telling you to focus the energy on that which you think you lost or that which you think that went wrong. Walk away from the sensation of victimism and take advantage of the lesson. Drag out of that situation the best possible energy that you can as a lesson. Because this lesson is only one extra step into the specialization that you are doing in this earth, which is helping you to acquire a lot of talent and a lot of added value, experience, skills, awareness, knowledge, wisdom. And this wisdom that is coming out of the lesson that you've gone through is going to help you a lot. It's going to help you to become very conscious of your value, very conscious of your kingdom, very conscious of your gifts, very conscious of your talents. It's gonna add to your fortune, to your wealth, energetic. And of course, that will manifest in abundance. Because this lesson that you've crossed was always meant to turn you into a person who learned how to sustain himself or herself in his or her own energy. While in the past, due to the wound that you went through, you thought that you needed external help in order to fulfill a dream because you were moving from the inner wounded child. Your inner child wanted that security that you were seeking. And the cards are telling you, no, the reason why it fell is because you don't need that security. The security that a relationship gives you, or the security that a career gives you, or the security that a friendship, a group of people gives you, a position gives you, a prestige gives you, a job gives you. You don't need that. You are autonomous, independent, able to give yourself your able to sustain yourself without that pattern. That's why it failed, so that you could prove, so that you could grow into an adult, to do the shift from the child, the inner child, to the adult. Group number one. So here I got a repeated card. which is the Three of Cups. And that is telling me that this is the message here. Let's see what this. Group number 1. Bueno, so we have the Four of Wands, the Three of Cups, the Knight of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. Group number 1, you are definitely going through a revision of your life plan. And it is in the alignment of yourself, the alignment of your mind, body, and spirit, in the celebration of your life, that you advance forward, that you complete yourself. There is an opportunity. Life is going to bring you an opportunity, or is presenting you at this given moment, an opportunity of connection, reconnection with yourself, with an experience. Probably it could be an opportunity that comes in different shapes. It could come externally by a situation that reminds you of the past, or it could come by a moment of awareness and awakening in which you understand the direction that you should go forward. And you move on. You move on understanding that that plan that you had was not the plan of your original timeline. That plan, that relationship, that lifestyle, those goals, those ideas are not the original ideas of your original soul plan. And you're going to see it with a lot of clarity. You're going to take charge of yourself and your inner child without the necessity of someone in the exterior taking care of it. You are learning to stop projecting your inner wounds, your childhood wounds outside in your life plan and demanding from the external world to fulfill those necessities. The question is, ask yourself, why did you want to have success in this area of your life, whatever it is? What was moving you? You will say, well, Lala, everybody wants success. Yes, but many, many times we are moved by a wound or by a project that our parents could not fulfill, and we want to fulfill the plan in their name, but it's not our plan. It's like those that study a career that the father dreamt of studying and they did not study. It's a projection. Or to have the family that you felt that you didn't have, or to have the relationship that you felt your parents didn't have. There is an opportunity for you, and it could feel painful, of understanding that you were not living your original plan. And there is an opportunity here for you to take your right track if you allow the universe to guide you. Let's get a last message for group number 1. This opportunity is coming with the eclipse. Total transformation and healing of your total transformation and healing of your emotional world. Total transformation and healing of your inner world. There are mental patterns that you are struggling with. This feels like obligations that you have unconsciously adopted. And because it's a very heavy charge, you feel that you cannot move on. There is an inner struggle because in reality, you are forcing yourself to do something or sustain something that is not really what you wanted. I can connect here with people who got married and made a family, but in reality, that's not what they wanted. They did it because they wanted to fulfill a wound or heal a wound from their childhood, not because they wanted to give a family to their inner child, not because their adult wanted to have this experience. I'm connecting here with people that enter in a certain career for the same reasons, to achieve status, money, fame, recognition, but their soul wanted to take them in a different path. And so no matter how much success they have, they don't find that fulfillment within. If you allow the transformation of your emotional world, of your inner waters, if you allow the healing to take place, because this healing is coming in a shape of insatisfaction, you're going to be able to liberate yourself. Allow the light to be thrown at you to see where you're stuck. By recognizing where you're stuck, you're going to be able to start moving on. That will be the first step so that you can reconnect to your original timeline. And this is the message that I have for group number 1. I will see you in the next video. Welcome, group number 2. I'm going to start with your reading. Let's see what's the message for group number 2. 6 of Pentacles. The Hermit. I love the Hermit in this deck. The 7 of Wands. The Page of Swords and the Ace of Swords. Okay. The story goes or starts with a repetitive pattern in your life. imagine that you were always falling into the same pattern. Like all the relationships were the same, even though when you meet the person, you make sure mentally, analyze the person, no, this person is different. And then the person end up being the same. At work, you don't have the best experience, and then you apply for a new job or find a new, a new whatever activity, and then you make sure that your experience is going to be different from the past, and it ends up being the same experience. There is a repetition in the patterns. That's the story where it's coming from. Group number 2, you are getting it. You are getting the solution of the repetitive pattern, because that repetitive pattern was a karmic situation. And you understood that in order to liberate yourself from it, the answers were inside of you. Group number 2 understood that they were the problem, and that they were the problem, and that they were projecting in the exterior that reality. So they stop the battle. They separated from the constant struggle to understand that what they needed to develop was mental flexibility. You had the enlightenment to understand why or from where, or that you were the one that was putting yourself in the same situations again and again, rather than being a situation of bad luck. It wasn't bad luck. It was you yourself putting yourself in the same situation, in the same position. Group number 2. Group number 2, the block that you had was associated or stopping you from being independent or abundant. This abundance could be abundant, financial abundance, emotional abundance. Doesn't matter. But here, this is the energy that you were trying to achieve, and then you end up in the same pattern. You always ended up without a stability. This stability that you couldn't achieve was coming from a lack of emotional intelligence. So this feels to me like people who had a lot of rotation, many jobs, many experiences, or many relationships. But in any case, you couldn't last long in any of those situations, and you felt it was bad luck. Here, this obstacle, which is the double, now you're having a lot of clarity and awareness. Where is it coming from? Is it really the other, or is actually me who end up projecting it outside by attracting this kind of people in my life? And having this clarity is a mental clarity. It's allowing you to have the right mindset to create the justice in order to generate this abundance and stability, which is coming from balancing your emotional body. Group number 2 is liberating from a karmic pattern that was not allowing them to create stability. So it sounds like people who had a lot of opportunities to start, and when they start, they feel this is going to be amazing, and then it end up not being that amazing. It end up being dramatic, problematic, and then you end up saying, like, I don't know why I always attract the same kind of situations. I don't know why the same things happen to me. You're coming out of like life is difficult. No, you're coming out of it and making sure that you embrace yourself. You put your mind in the right track. You definitely did. The repeated card here is the 10. I'm working with 2 decks, yeah? So the repeated card here is the 10 of, this is the theme here, abundance and stability of it. Abundance, family, stability, happiness. Once you open, discover the block that it was coming from a confusion in your emotional world, in your emotional body. Your emotional body was contaminated. And now you could do a perfect alignment of mind and body. You could do a perfect alignment of you have a clarity of mind, objective mind, clarity of what's right. You did a massive shift of direction, like you were always walking towards a direction, and now you know that that's not the direction where you should go. You should go towards the other side. Now you're having much more clarity about it, and allowing yourself to have this clarity and this alignment between your emotional body and your mental body is opening the doors for new directions, new ways of doing things. There is an inner alignment in you. You're not walking anymore externally and internally in different directions, and that is creating abundance. You are discovering why you were not successful, and you are leaving that behind. Group number 2. The Sun, 3 of Cups, the card of the night. It came in both groups. The alignment, inner alignment. The Moon, the 4 of Pentacles, the Strength, 6 of Wands, and the High Priestess. The sun is shining over your subconscious. Group number 2, you are receiving enlightenment. literal enlightenment. The sun is enlightening your subconscious. You are seeing with a great amount of clarity where was the problem. Where was the problem of group number 2? Because there is alignment. For me, this card is the card of alignment, mind, body, spirit. The alignment of your inner child, your higher self, and yourself. And the alignment of the 3 bodies, inner self, inner child, and higher self, allows you to, or allows the entrance of the Holy Spirit. When the Holy Spirit enters in you, you know the direction in which you should go in life. It creates sense of self-stability, self-sustainability, and empowerment, strengthening your core, because you enter in a state of divine connection. And that is exactly what is showing up here. The alignment of your logical mind and your both hemispheres, basically. Your mind and your heart, if you want to see it like that. The problem was coming from not listening or not having an aligned emotional body. And you are walking successfully because you are learning to connect with your intuition. Group number 2 was absolutely driven by the mind, and the intuition was left out. Now, when that intuition is in charge and there is an alignment of your bodies, you can see with a lot of clarity why things were not working, why you were not progressing, why you were never satisfied, why you were not abundant. Taking charge of it, changing the direction, giving light to your subconscious is allowing a progress. It's allowing a success. It's allowing a victory that is coming from an inner sense of connection. And that inner connection is bringing abundance. And this is the message that I have for group number 2. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.